Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. How you doing? Oop, there the guys are. There they are. So going to start off the show by doing this. Justice is upside down right now. We really hope it's turned the right side up a little bit later today. Yeah, I didn't have a good sleep. I got lots of hours for me, which is like 5.5, 6. But it was very frustrated sleep. So we're going to put on a good face here, talk about some options that we have coming up, and maybe some more options that have to come up a little bit further down the road too. Because I'm still having hope that we're going to be okay. But I spoke to Chris Lysick yesterday. God damn it, I'm upset right now with this one. I'm really hoping that they set things up last night. Okay, look, the judge could have written 2 decisions last night, one for, one against his decision on that envelope. They do that. They do that. They do write decisions, 2 of them, in order to save time and be ready based on what they see. So it's totally possible that he can open that envelope up and have a decision ready. That's my prayers last night, all night, because Chris also confirmed he made a mistake to me. It's not August. It's November is the next court date. He thought it was. Somebody told him was. He confirmed a couple times. He really believed it was, and then he broke it to me yesterday in tears that it's going to be November. God damn, I'm mad. So I'm definitely going to be working with a whole bunch of people to try and find out what we can do. Can we file stuff as citizens? Can we make things happen as citizens? Of course, working with the family and the men and stuff. But the lawyers are limited to the courtroom. Citizens are not. Okay. Citizens can do other things. So absolutely going to be trying to find ways to work on that. Just to give you a heads up, James O'Keefe, Viva Fry, Clyde Do Something, Jeremy McKenzie. These are all people that I'm communicating with about political prisoners in Canada and more and more. Media, there's other people too. So if today doesn't go well, actually, here's what I'm going to say to Canada. Even if today goes well, there's still like 50 other political prisoners in Canada, coast to coast. So I think we found what we're going to be doing for a while here. We're going to collect their names, collect their situations. Some of them are in jail, still waiting trial. Some of them are in trial. Some of them went through trial and got prosecuted and got convicted. Some of them are just charged. Some of them are coming up with charges. There's political prisoners is not just when you're in jail too, like on your way to jail. Okay. So if there's charges that are going to put you there, I call you a political prisoner. So this includes Pat King, Tamara Litch, Chris Barber, possibly even Thom and a bunch of other people. There's possible pending charges for them. All of these people are political prisoners. I had someone reach out to me from Windsor. There's at least 30 of them there. In Alberta, we have close to a dozen now. Like we really need to start taking this seriously, folks. Coutts Four are super important. They're going to be the core, but we absolutely have to get the message out for all of them. Even James Sowery, he is a political prisoner because he is charged and he's been convicted and he can't get his license. He can't do other things. So James, even Sowery is on that list. So we're gonna have to blow this up in the media, of course, because I would be damn careful now because I know these people are watching. We have to bring this awareness up high, put it on high, because this is a crime against humanity in my mind right now at this stage. Because I sat through 3 days of court, and if I was up on that bench, I would have opened that envelope days ago. I wouldn't have let the Crown delay like they did. I'm going to get into this outcome of this particular matter this week. I'm going to put together a video that kind of shows the timeline and how the Crown was wasting time, causing problems, playing games. I want Canada to know exactly what's going on minute by minute in there. We may not be able to tell you about the content of what they're talking about because of these damn bans, but I certainly could talk about the process and how they're playing games. And boy, we're going to turn up the heat around that one. This is Jay pissed off. You don't want to see Jay mad. Jay pissed off is motivated to get things done. Jay mad gets things done. So let's go ahead and see what we can do as a team and bring everybody together and work on this. I'm still optimistic. There's hope that he wrote 2 decisions last night. Today, he's going to open an envelope and pick a decision and read it. That's the hope. If this guy's delaying himself as well, this judge, I don't know. I just didn't get that from him. But I've also only been here for a few days. This has been going on for a long time. So let's see what happens today. Okay, folks, my prayers are been put in place. I'm going to be keep doing them, and let's see if justice is upside down here, and we'll find out. Thank you, folks. I had to get that off my chest. Well, today we don't have a Donald and we don't have a Danielle. Both of them took the day off. Donald is catch up on some stuff, and I'm sure Danielle's getting her rest. We will definitely see her on Monday, possibly the after show as well this afternoon. But we have.
Hello.
What the heck, Granny? What? I'm not joking. Hold on, Granny. Yeah, it's you. Folks, taking microphones this morning. She was fine a minute ago.
Hey, can you hear me now? Hello.
Very scratchy.
I don't know. Pegasus has got my facial recognition or something.
Nikki,
know.
You watched all this morning as we're playing around with the microphone and stuff.
This happens every day.
It's not her voice, folks. Just so you know, in real life, her voice is normal. It's not like she can do that on purpose. But look, folks, this is a different computer. This is one of my computers. We tried 2 microphones this morning, 2 different ones, and it was fine a moment ago. What the heck?
I have nothing. I don't know what to say. What's it sound like?
Why don't you come sit here, Granny? Let's just do this. You come sit here, and I'll go there, and you can hear it. Let's see if it follows you or not. Yeah.
Can you plug me in?
Sorry, Nikki. We're just trying to do this. We'll figure this out. Yeah, Granny, you come. Leave the headset.
Bring the headset? Okay. Okay, get rid of this mic.
Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you, folks, for behind the scenes stuff here. What's going on? I'm now Granny.
Okay, it's the Granny Show now.
The Granny Show's great now.
Okay.
Am I scratchy?
Let me see. Talk. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
A little bit crack. A little bit scratchy.
Yeah. Okay, so Granny, you start talking. I'm gonna get you a new mic here.
Okay.
Nikki, you know you're clever.
Hi, Nikki.
Morning, Granny.
I kind of like this position. What do you think?
You betcha.
Well, Nikki, what have you got to share today? I understand you're doing something with Tony.
Well, so yesterday, we were had to remove our phones. I did get a call back from AHS, which I missed, and a call back from the Alberta Human Rights Commission, which 8 o'clock this morning when they open, the phone will be buzzing. So, and there are a few more gentlemen on my list that
maybe you could just back up a little bit and explain to people that don't understand actually what's happening with Tony. Like, go back to the start. Like, let's go back to when he started getting sick. He started getting sick back in 2015, 2016. This is not new.
Yes.
And it was a struggle for him to get healthy.
So Tony had went to his family physician here because he had felt that he was actually dying, in his own words, because he was so sick with his gut health. And he eventually found a wonderful woman who's a naturopath and got him on a good diet and actually got him on some colloidal silver. And, you know, he said, I finally felt like I was going to live again because he actually felt good. And he got off all the pills and so he's been fighting with this for years. And when he first got into the Rayman Center, we were absolutely terrified for him because we know food is so important for him and good health is important for him. And I remember seeing him on the screen for his first and his bail hearing. We could watch him through the CCTV. I just wanted to throw up because he was so sick and skinny at that point. And so
and what timeline is that? Can you remember what month? That was what, May 2022 or
May, June. And from February till that point, he didn't even look like the same man because he was so he almost looked like death because he was so skinny. And he'd been complaining, in Lethbridge he wasn't getting enough food, the right food. So finally when he went to Medicine Hat and he said, oh, finally I have some good food. and I am getting more food. That was his reason to stay in Medicine Hat, because he had been quickly transferred from Lethbridge to Medicine Hat, and at that point we couldn't find him, so it was a worry again. And then he had said, actually, I think I'm going to stay here because I can actually eat. And so then he seemed to be doing okay for a while, and then boom, sick again. So then he did get some probiotics, and he did say it was like chalk. They were junk probiotics. And so I think you, Granny, had made a call into Medicine Hat, and he actually did get some good probiotics. So then, it's hard because this has been going on for so long. Back again, bad probiotics.
But now he gets transferred, right? Okay, so he goes from Medicine Hat to Lethbridge through Calgary, and his probiotics cannot catch up to him.
Yeah, and he gets to Calgary. He has a prescription till the middle of August, and he gets to Calgary, and they say, no, you're cut off. Absolutely not getting any more. He comes back to Lethbridge, and he writes into AHS, and he writes into the facility, and no, you are cut off. You are not getting any probiotics. He actually did ask for some mag citrate that is by prescription, and he had spoke to the nurse, and the nurse said, no, we cannot get it for you. And then he said, obviously my health is not important to you people. So the fight is on for some good probiotics, and
we have to remember, Tony is struggling in real time. This is now, like, he's sick and he's struggling, and nobody wants to help him. So now we make phone calls, right, Nikki? Who are you all phoning?
I did talk to a gentleman at AHS, and I did talk to him again yesterday morning, and he said I actually got a file number for him. And actually, if anybody wants to help and phone, Tony does have a file number of 138185. And that is
8185. 138185.
138185. And that is a file number registered right now currently with Alberta Health Services. I did talk to a gentleman at Alberta Health Services yesterday, and he recommended that Tony call him back. And I said, Tony is in court all day. He can't phone you from 8 to 4. And he said, well, he can leave me a message. And I said, I don't think you understand how the remand center works. He can't leave you a message. You have to accept the phone call. And yeah, so I did talk to Tony last night. He did fill out a health services request form to give it to AHS. And when he gets to the phone, he is going to try and phone again. And I'm going to be on the phone all morning trying to work any way in my power to get him a probiotic.
And this is the problem. They don't understand that he is sick now. Like, he needs help now. He's struggling as he sits in that courtroom. But nobody seems to care. And those probiotics are somewhere, but they're not giving them to him.
And the gentleman from AHS said, Tony can write in. He can write and write me a letter. And I said, that could be 10 days, 15 days from now. I said, the man is sick. He needs help now. So that's where I'm at as of this morning, trying to keep on the phone and phone people.
How many times have you heard Tony mad in the last year and a half?
The only time he's been mad is about his health. You know, he's a very optimistic, you know, just such a wonderful person. And only time he's been mad is because he does not have a right to health.
I remember Tony telling me a story where he was talking with the nurse, and the nurse was mad at me because I made that phone call to this lady, and this lady made stuff happen. And this nurse was furious at me. She said, I hope that lady gets fired. I started laughing. I'm thinking, fired from what? Like, what are you gonna fire me from? Making a phone call? So Tony looked at her and he said, you know what? I'm innocent until proven guilty, and I deserve health care. And he's never seen that nurse again. So don't know where she went.
And you know what? When you are your basic right as a person, and I've even pulled out the prisoners' rights, and they have a right to health, and obviously they do not have a right to health, but we are going to make sure they have a right to health.
Yeah, because all of us can't unsee what we know now. Like, let's say best case scenario, the 4 men walk out of there today. How can we turn our back on everybody that we know that's in there?
We won't.
No.
I'm mad.
Yeah, no, I've been up all night. I could hardly sleep either. I missed Chris Lysick's phone calls last night because I was talking to one of the other guys for a solid hour. They're struggling.
Oh, yeah.
Watching this, it's hurting them because they can see it's not nothing's happening. So they're upset.
And last night, the last 2 nights that I've talked to Tony, he's angry. Yesterday, all they got to eat was a ham sandwich, breakfast, lunch, supper. They can't even get a good tray for supper when they get back for supper. So they're not even getting good food. And Tony did make a comment.
Was his gluten free? Do you know?
He didn't say. I'm highly doubtful.
Because he was getting gluten free down there. But if it was a ham sandwich, Jerry said he got a ham sandwich. And why can't they decide what kind of food they want? Jerry doesn't like ham sandwiches. So he wasn't eating it. So what's Jerry doing? Eating nothing? Like, this is insane.
And Tony did make the comment. He does get like an oatmeal, but he tries to scrape the sugar off it because sugar is really bad for his gut. So that's one thing. And he said even in all the canteen that he can order, it is all just gross, as in Tony's word, shit food.
Well, and that's the thing too. I got attacked for talking about bottled water. So the guys are getting 1 bottle of water at the start of the day, and then after that, they have to fill it up from the tap. Now, it's your choice. You can drink tapped water or you can drink bottled water. But when you've got a gut health issue, you try to eat as clean as you can and eat clean and drink clean water. They're not even allowing them to do that. Like, oh my gosh, $75,000 has been spent on this week in Lethbridge here, and they're not allowed bottled water. Are you kidding me? So I don't know.
I even noticed the other morning that they didn't even start them off with a fresh bottle of water.
It's disgusting.
It's been this way the whole time.
Oh. Yes. No, you're cracky now. I broke it.
3 mics. I have an idea. I'll be right there.
Okay. Oh, it's the Granny and Nikki show. Here we go. And we're laughing because we have to laugh because otherwise my head's going to explode. Like, I am wild right now. I know I'm smiling, but if I don't smile, I'm going to cry. And Nikki's the same way. Jason's the same way. And I know there's thousands of us out there that are frustrated and we don't know what to do. And Jason's been talking to us as soon as we can get him back on here. He's been talking about a solution for us and how we can help do something, because doing nothing is not an option anymore. I know Nikki feels the same way. And we just don't know what to do anymore. Oh, pop. I heard somebody pop.
As we've said many times, this is the horror movie where the credits never roll.
Yeah. I feel like it's Canada's worst nightmare, and they're living it. Like, everybody's on the outside. Oh, now I've got huge echo.
1 second. That's me. Done.
Okay. Okay. But it's hard when you hear them cry on the phone and you know there's nothing you can do. They're trying to break them. I do believe that. They want them to plea out. And they are extremely strong men. And I'm so proud of each and every one of them. But there's got to be a line for them. And they need to get hope. And we need to figure out what that hope is. And I need something to say to them. So please help.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
That's better. That's better. All right. This is the fourth mic that we've used. Second computer. It's my phone. Pegasus, I am impressed. I am impressed that you're able to pull this off. That's all I gotta say about that one. Look, Granny, we were talking a little bit before pre-show. So I spoke to a gentleman who's in the UCP party that reached out to me, and he talked about how citizens should be able to get together and create a group. He just referred to it generally as a citizens group. And citizens groups themselves can file documents in the court outside of what the defense does. The defense is limited to the court, the trial, the pre-trial, and what they're working on. Citizens are not. We can file all over the place for a bunch of different things. Federal, provincial, international, we can do a bunch of things. So I think if, regardless of how today goes, we're gonna have to do this for all our political prisoners in Canada. I think there needs to be like a nationwide effort to free these people through the system, use the system, all the ones that we can. Something along those lines. I'm heavily motivated to do that now.
Yeah, I'm more than willing to speak with him. I'm not much of a political person right now, even if I did run. That's a whole other story. But I am willing to talk to him. We need to educate ourselves on what we can do, and then we need to educate the people, because there's people out there that want to help, but they don't know what to do. So we need to lead the way.
Can you tell me about the event on Saturday that I'm going to with you? It's not far from Red Deer. Can we talk about that? Because we might be able to get a lot of people to come there, including this gentleman. I'm going to reach out to him and have him come there, and maybe we can start talking about some of this stuff. Can you talk about that event?
And to be honest, I don't know a lot about it. I know Stacy from Stacy's Happy Place. It's a coffee shop and bookstore. This lady's been up against Alberta Health Services for 2 years. And she actually reached out, and a lawyer did come forward to help her. And the lawyer is working pro bono, a real estate lawyer, but she's a lawyer, so she's helping. So Stacy had reached out to me about some keychains for the 27th. So I thought, again, don't really know what's happening in Eckville. It's in Eckville. And it's this Saturday, which is tomorrow. So I thought, well, I'll pop in over there because she's actually raising money for the 4 men now. So I thought, well, what a perfect place for Jason and I to pop up and have a coffee with everybody. And so if you want to meet Jason and myself, please come over. Go to Stacy's Happy Place. We'll share that. It's on Facebook. You can find her, and come and support her, and also support our 4 men, and come and have a coffee with the 2 of us. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there, and it'd be a good time to talk about the things we can do. Is it just for the one night, Saturday?
Honestly, I don't know.
Okay.
It might be something. It might be, I don't know, maybe it's Eckville Days or something. Does anybody know? Because I don't. Maybe we can just look at the phone and find out. Oh my gosh.
Well, we know we'll definitely be there, and then whatever it is, whether it's Eck Days or just coffee, we'll be there and be able to talk to people. But yeah, we're gonna get this going. So even if the guys come out either on bail or whatnot, we've got lots to work on. And Sowery, I'm thinking about you, brother, because you're hurting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we all think about James. He's a good man. He's a good father, good son, a good friend now. And he's like a son to me. My heart goes out to him, and we will get his business up and running. Since he can't drive anywhere, he has to stay stationary, and he makes beautiful product. You can see that. And so I'm putting a plea out to all the grandmas. Can you imagine your grandchild going to school sporting this beautiful Go Cup?
The
My
Tumblr.
grandson, yeah, Tumblr, thank you.
Yeah.
Vanna White, I'm not. But my grandson's names are going to be like this, and I'll put their school on the front. So I think we can get him getting business across Canada, because there's a lot of grandmas out there that want their grandchild to have what Granny's grandchild is going to have.
Yeah, at the Daily Wire, they have the liberal tiers Tumblr. We'll have the Trudeau tier Tumblr, because we're going to come after his job. We're going to get him out of that office and go to replace him with someone else as quick as possible. Because I do believe he's behind a lot of this pressure on the courts and the prosecutors to do what they're doing here.
Yeah.
I witnessed what happened in the court today. For a layman, it might just be legalese and stuff like that. For a legal guy, there was definitely 2 days completely wasted by the Crown on purpose. No doubt on that one.
Yeah, well, an actual officer had spoke to one of the family members a year and a half ago, and he did say at that time they were told by an office out of Ottawa to keep these 4 men in jail. So hearsay or whatever, but that was an actual family member that spoke with it. That's firsthand on their part.
And that officer was where? In the justice, like in the remands, or where was this officer?
All I know is it was in Lethbridge here. Like, it wasn't at a center, it was in person they were talking.
And some of the decisions from the judge yesterday, as he was coming them out, I thought, absolutely, this is an easy one. Let's go open that envelope. Let's figure it out. But he was able to legally talk in ways so that he has more time and he can take his time. I hope he wrote 2 decisions last night. We're going to find out what he did with one of them today.
I have a good feeling about the judge. Like, I know a lot of people
I'm not against him. Yeah.
No, I felt like he was very impartial. I felt like he was just new, like he was doing his job, is what I felt. He wasn't favoring anybody. And he put a human touch on the men. So I have to have faith.
Yeah, and he did talk about trying to speed things up. He didn't even want to waste an hour or 2 yesterday. Well, not waste. The defense asked for that time to rewrite their submissions, because what the Crown did yesterday was completely change the context and narrative on them. So they couldn't argue anymore what they prepared the entire day for, that the Crown put them in the position for yesterday or the day before yesterday. So then yesterday they had to redo it all. So they needed 3 hours to redo it all. And as quick as they could, they did it. But my goodness, we definitely... Folks, we'll lay out this timeline of what happened this week so you can visually see the time that was wasted by the Crown. And the efforts that they put forward were not good ones. They didn't have merit behind them, in my opinion. So I think we should start evaluating this, and maybe the Crown is a problem here as well.
Yeah, I actually kind of felt sorry for the Crown yesterday.
That gentleman, but not the office.
No, not the office, the person.
That gentleman there, yeah.
Yeah, I think I just felt bad for him, because when you have to clean up somebody else's crap, just saying.
Yeah, well, we could feel bad for him, because I agree with you on that front, because we watched him. He was stressed. He was huffing, puffing, pacing, all that kind of stuff. However, if he's behind the strategy, the tactics, the one who's making the decisions for the last few days on what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, and how they're going to be ridiculous and bring forward that affidavit that never had any weight. First year law school knows that affidavit had no weight. And yet it's written by a King's Counsel, so he most certainly knew it had no weight. And those are the kind of tactics I saw. So if he's behind those, and these are strategies to prolong all of this, and by the way, Granny, because they screwed up on the publication ban on Tuesday, they needed to push everything till Thursday to get it underneath the ban. Yep. And that's exactly what we saw. That's what I saw there. The Crown did 2 days of delays that didn't allow the envelope stuff to be spoken about to get into that 2-day notice period. Now there's a ban. Now we can talk about it. That's not luck on their part. That's 100% strategy.
No, that was definitely strategy when you say it like that. You see it happening. And now when you look back, that's exactly what they did. They needed to get past Thursday to get that publication ban on.
Yep. And I think I was a little naive, because I spoke to the defense and said, hey, look, I'm going to oppose this thing. I would like to oppose this thing. And they did get that happening. But that also put me on the record to acknowledge that there's a ban there, and I definitely can never, ever, ever say I don't know about it, because I'm actually on the record at that court knowing about it.
And was
So-
that part of the strategy, or what was that? Like, I don't know. Right at this point, I'm trying to trust everybody, but I don't know anymore.
Well, if it's part of the strategy, then they lucked out, because I'm the one that asked to be there to oppose that. But he's maybe smarter than us, because he's the one that triggered me by saying podcasters and YouTubers haven't given an opinion or something along those lines. I'm like, well, that's me. I should maybe give an opinion. I oppose it. So I don't know, Granny. I'm frustrated because now I know my hands are tied too. I have cuffs on it in a media sense. So today I am going to ask for clarification around specifically what I can and can't talk about. And if it really is the details of everything around the next few days, well, then I'm just going to make a huge story about the process and how it's being abused. And we have a wrongful prosecution, and we certainly have a wrongful imprisonment happening here.
Well, I know Danielle's on it, and she's like a pit bull. She'll be like a dog with a bone. She's going to get all for us this morning. She tried to get them last night, but it was too late. And like you said, if we can't talk about what happened, then we're going to talk about the system that's letting the guys down and actually tied your hands, because you're the only one that was speaking out. That's it. There is nobody else. So no wonder they would come after you.
Yeah, and I actually want to highlight to Canada, the reasons why, and I'm sure we can talk about this, was to protect the jury. BS. Let me explain to you how that's so much BS. Because now the truth can't be spoken. The lies, the misinformation, the disinformation, the malinformation is completely freely allowed. In fact, you can totally make up a bunch of stuff about this and not be in trouble, because you're only in trouble if you speak the truth. Because the truth is what's been protected here. You can make up everything you want and talk about it, but not the truth. So now I don't have the ability to go out there and correct the record and go and say, hey, no, that's not correct. The truth is this, because that is banned. That is insane. You're actually creating the conditions where the jury is in to hear nothing but mis, dis, and malinformation. They'll never get the truth. And you've created that situation purposefully. And it is to protect the crown, because the entire thing that we're protecting here is the crown's activity to put these men in jail. So this is dead wrong. This is dead wrong.
Oh, my head's going to explode. So why don't we move on and we'll talk about Jerry?
Please. But the good news here, folks, like, I don't want to make anybody understand. The good news here is we're on to them now. Like, we are on to them. We're like hound dogs on these people now. It's not as quiet as it was before. And we're getting loud. This show is growing about 20% now each day. If that keeps up, we're going to have tens of thousands of people hearing about this daily. And this is going to be Canadian political prisoners, all of them. So we're going to have a lot of pictures coming up here. We'll be talking to a lot of family. There's a lot of people suffering just like the men. Not as bad as the men, because I don't know if anybody's done this much time and has been this much targeted, because they're the narrative. They're the center of the narrative, these four guys. But all around them, a couple rings around them, there's people in jail, people charged, people have already been convicted, and they're not guilty. They didn't actually do anything wrong. Some took deals to get themselves out because that was one of the options. Yeah, we got to talk about this a lot more, Canada, like really talk about this a lot more. This needs to be a digital convoy of us coming together to get behind and make this a really loud message. And I think that's the only way to do it, is public pressure right now.
And we know the people are out there. We saw tens of thousands of them on the way to Ottawa at the Coutts demonstration. We know they're out there. So you're right. We need a digital convoy. That's what I used to call the mail convoy. And the guys did get a mail convoy. They plugged the Lethbridge mailroom. So that was wonderful. I'm talking about Lethbridge. So there's two parts to this Lethbridge remand center. I don't know what you call a jail. It's two things over there. So you got the guys that are in the remand, and then you got the guys that are incarcerated. And the guys in the remand watch the guys that are incarcerated and have pled guilty, playing ball, horseshoes, basketball, sitting on the grass. And you're not allowed to do that when you're in the remand. You sit in a concrete jungle and get sick. But if you plea out, you get to go play with those boys outside.
Yeah.
Jerry could hear the guys playing ball as he was talking to me on the phone. He says, I'm stuck in here and they're outside playing. Chris Carbert told me he can see them out his window. And I'm going like, that's a crime on its own. Where are our human rights that we're not allowed to go outside and sit on the grass or have the same rights as those other people? This makes no sense, Jason. I don't understand why they can do this to them.
They can't. They are breaking laws. There's international laws against punishing prisoners and stuff. So no, they can't. They just do. That's the bottom line. This is not legal. Internationally, even, it's not legal. They're just doing.
Well, there's some eyes on them now, and maybe that's where all this, because there has to be a reason this is happening. And maybe it was to bring a light onto this system, because I never saw it. I don't even know anybody in jail. I've never known anybody in jail. So I would never know until 4 good men ended up in the remands. So now we're getting firsthand stories, and they have seen some people in their lengthy stays, because I remember them saying at one time, probably past them by now, but they did say at one time there was somebody in the jail longer than them. And I thought, oh my God, there's more. And they do know people that are been in there a long time. So we need to help everybody. It's not just the 4 men anymore, but the 4 men are the ones that put the light on it.
And I also want to put a call out to Canada. Take another look at the media that you follow. Take another look and see if they're covering this. If they're not, they're part of the problem, 100%. We sat here on Monday with Harrison from True North, who made some promises to us to have us on his show Monday night and Thursday night. Today is Friday, and you did not see us on his show. He has also not responded since Monday. So Harrison, call me. You made some promises. We had you on the show. We gave you the information. We made contacts for you. We put messages to the men like you asked for. You did not follow up like you said. So True North, did you put the brakes on him? Harrison, are the brakes on you? You want to reach out privately? Let me know what's going on. I would highly recommend you do so. Because if you're not, you're part of the problem. So I want Canada to take another look at the media that you're following. Who are you getting your messages from? And do they really care? And if they don't care about political prisoners here in Canada, real life, what's happening right now, they are part of the problem. I also want you to understand that accredited media means government approved. I have no intention of becoming accredited media. So anybody who's accredited media does take some orders, restrictions, and regulations from the government in order to stay accredited. So there's a program in place even for the non-mainstream media. And it seems like, and listen, I have friends in Western Standard, you guys are not talking. So unaccredited is the way to go forward now, because that means not government controlled. So take another look at your media and make a decision. Who do you want to get your messages from? The government or the people? Because right now, the government media is not covering the crimes of humanity that are happening here in Canada. So take another look at who you guys are looking at, and let's get behind good media, which is going to be unaccredited media. And I hope to heck that there's dozens of you out there that come out of the woodwork and get your own shows. I don't think this is competition to my show. I think this is expanding the show. We need to do unaccredited media now, because it's the only way you're going to get the truth. And I am going to file some stuff in court here in Alberta, Granny. And this might be one of the first regulations we can work on, because they expel and do not allow independent media at all in the court, and they don't let them collect information. Like yesterday, I should have been recording the entire event so I can go through and make stories and reports on them. I can't. I have to rely upon written notes only. This is something I'm going to directly attack in the Alberta courts, because we should not be doing that. There should not be gatekeeping on the media and the truth in this court system. And there is. I'm watching it happen real time. Sorry, I'm a little frustrated about that, and I have to get that out.
No, I'm frustrated too. And like I said, they see our faces, and we stay relatively calm, which is good, because we are leading by example. So when people see us frustrated, they tend to follow with an escalated frustration. And we don't want that. We need to stay respectful. Trust me, I want to stomp my feet and have a temper tantrum, but that doesn't look really good. So we try to stay calm, and we're leading, because people are watching us. So we need to be the respectful, patient people that we are, and we will get through this. this would be a good time to make a plug for our friend Mocha.
Yes, please. So Mocha is a wonderful gentleman. If you don't know who he is, he was with Rebel. He's no longer with Rebel. He came out on a couple days. He's coming back today. Mocha, you might be the big one that helps us blow this up. So thank you so much. He's a gentleman, a great young man.
Oh my gosh, yes. And talented. He takes bits and pieces. He goes home. I bet the kid hardly sleeps. And we actually need to find out how we can get the public to support him financially. He's just a young guy going out on his own, doing the right thing, but he can't do it on his own. He needs our help. So we'll get Jason to figure out how you put his information out there somehow. And
well, we'll create the unaccredited media fund, and we'll have people donate and put money there, and that will go to the reporters and the media who are doing it right. They're not accredited, and Mocha would be one of the first ones I would like to get behind on that one.
And maybe we'll just talk about the accountability list for a second.
Yeah.
Anybody knows where the hundreds of thousands of dollars went that was raised down at Coutts, Alberta, January, February of 2022? Maybe you'd like to step forward and donate to this fund, because where did it go?
Yeah. We were talking a lot about some issues, but we wanted to see how this week went because our focus was on the men. If today ends with the men still in remand, yeah, that accountability list is going to get out. We're going to start working on it, writing letters, figuring out ways to address things, and hunting down some money. In addition to the money you're talking about, the Granny, there's a massive amount of money that was collected through a website from one of the accredited media outlets. And that money is also still not accounted for. And that money is also related to other problems. So yeah, I think it's time to start exposing this. And I absolutely want the help of whistleblowers, people behind the scenes. If you have videos, recordings, things that we can get out there. It has to be genuine. Don't give me any crap. And I'm not interested in dirt from years ago on anybody. I need real-time stuff that happens here. Are they aware that there wasn't a ban? They could have been talking all along. Are they aware that the ban here is making things more difficult? And they're not even talking about that. So if you're a whistleblower, and we'll keep you private for sure, because the entire effort here is to correct it. Accredited media is really screwing things up here, and without a functioning media, we have a real big problem when it takes the government and holds them accountable. And if the government's not being held accountable at all, this is what happens. And Granny, it's not the playground, it's the bullies. So our system can work. There's just some bad apples in there and some bullies in there. So we need to get them out of the playground so we can get back to work.
And I've always said that there's good people in the government, RCMP, the Law Society. There's good people out there. It's just unfortunately the bad ones have a little bit of control right at the moment with what's going on. But I do believe the good people will come forward because they're not going to stand for this. They're going to end up helping us. So if you happen to be watching our show and you know some truth, just reach out to us. We'll keep it private, but we do need whistleblowers. And I was just thinking about Tony again. Tony has probably been one of the calmest individuals I've ever met. He's got a laugh, like Jason said. He giggles, but his health is being attacked. Is this how they actually figured out? Because he's so strong and he found his faith. He believes this is all going to work out and it's happening for a reason. And he's okay with that. He has surrendered his life to this cause. Is this how they're going to try and break him?
100%, Granny, 100%. That's exactly what they're doing. I am not even pushing back on that narrative anymore. Are they trying to break this man? I'm witnessing it happen in real time because that court could have moved faster. That judge could have shut down some bad arguments. That judge could be preparing double decisions last night, so he's ready for both options for himself. Because that's exactly what I've seen other judges do. They would write two decisions and then pick one when they actually have to make the decision. So there's still a chance. I told Chris this yesterday, look, there's still a chance that the judge comes back and he does move on with that envelope. It does say what the defense says it says, and then we can go ahead and move to the next step of that. But yeah, I'm frustrated.
Well, there's 4 men that are going to be calling you and I today, and Tony's going to be calling Nikki. We need to have positive, uplifting message for them because we're their outside voices. So if the men reach out to you, You need to help uplift them. Like a lady sent a beautiful scripture today. I shared it on Alberta Political Prisoners page. We need to share this kind of faith. I know a really close friend of Chris Lysick's sent me a message in the night, and I'm sure she was crying most of the night too. She's the lady that has the necklace with the little geckos on it.
Yeah.
And she prayed with Chris twice last night because he's struggling, as you said, Jason. He's hurting, and there was a lot of prayer was between the two of them on the phone. We need to pray for them. So if you are out there doing prayer circles, please really up the game a bit, because these guys need it.
Absolutely. And for him, his daughter was just outside. Like, she was not far from him. She was just outside with his dad. That crushed him, because that's what he spoke about, that she was just around the corner. And yeah, there he is. He's still locked up. You couldn't see her. She didn't come into court. Nothing. Oh my gosh. I'm so frustrated, but I have hope that we can get this going. I think now that Canada is hearing about it, I think that we can put together some groups. There's a lot of lawyers who can do stuff behind the scenes. Oh yeah, Ian Ruckley of the Bailey. Ian. So somebody contacted me in the court, came up to me and said, Ian's trying to get a hold of me. He's in Europe right now. He wanted to do pro bono work on this. He's been trying to contact people. I don't know what this guy was talking about, because Ian has my contact and he hasn't gotten back to me. So Ian, if you're just busy, hit me back. Let's get the citizens group going. Let's get it with some lawyers. We got a real estate lawyer. We can get you. There's some other ones behind the scenes. We'll file it. I can file it. I'll do the legwork. We'll get this going. But we got to do something. Let's figure out what we can do. And what I would like to try and do is force the judge to make a decision on that envelope, like force it, not wait to November. So let's see if there's a way to do that. And an injunction might do it. There might be ways to do that. So let's get our heads together on this one.
Take a look at Nikki's lanyard.
What does it say?
So Tony made this for me when he was first in Lethbridge.
Triple
That's their company.
T Energy Service. So who are they? LTD.
That's Nikki and Daryl.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, you're showing us how we put all of that together for
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we can do some stuff around fundraising with that. We can make prints. We can do a bunch of things. I think that's just one of the prongs. The major prong is the public pressure that we have to do. We have to get the public system know that the public's not happy with this and makes them happy. Like, this probiotic thing is really wrong, like completely wrong. It should have taken 2 seconds to get it from one hand to the other. We got to highlight that issue, because the health of people is important, and that's being affected. And then the access to family, being able to see family, like Jerry needs to be able to see Jacqueline. Like, some of this stuff is not right. So
Lethbridge.
I think what they've done is they've opened up a hornet's nest, and maybe they didn't realize that. So Canada, let's get together on this one. Get your people, get your neighbors, tell people. It's not a political thing like political parties. These are people who should.
Yeah, they actually took away Jerry's pictures of Jacqueline in Lethbridge.
What do you mean? So in Lethbridge, he had pictures?
He had pictures in Calgary, and then they took his pictures away in Lethbridge and probably put him in his whatever thing they put his stuff away in. Lethbridge is very strict on what you can have. He's got his cards from people, but they took his pictures of Jacqueline away and put them away somewhere.
Hey, Padge, can you put that comment from Island Jason up that it just came up? Thank you. Look at this, folks. So just got a spam email from Harrison Faulkner. This is True North. Not one mention of the Coutts, but he wants us to support independent media. So what happened there, Harrison? What happened, bud? Because you actually told us you were going to put us on your show. I got the emails. So I'm going to start exposing these people, Granny, because they're behind the scenes. They're doing things, and in public, they're doing different things. So yeah, we're going to be digging up emails from some of these accredited media that's been talking to us in the past, over the years too. We're going to be digging these out. We're going to be showing Canada what kind of media we have. We need to fix that. I think that's highly important.
Like, living in fear. These people are living in fear, and they're allowing the government to put them under their thumb. You're not doing society any favor. Like, look at the three of us. Like, Nikki's got a company and she stood up. You've got a company, you stood up. I'm just a grandma and I stood up. Like, come on, people. Like,
No, I think we're going to do this, Granny. I am an entrepreneur, so I do know how to do grassroots things. I build communities, grassroots as well, mostly around entrepreneurship and small business. But now I'm going to be doing it over justice. I think, still believe, Granny, that we're brought together for a reason, and this team has certain skills. I kind of feel like that movie Taken, particular skills, and I'm coming for you. That might be kind of what we're doing here. Because I've now also got the passion and the time to do this, and I know I got the support. There's a lot of people out there already telling me to take support. I don't need it personally, but we're going to put together something like the Uncredited Media Fund, where we support people like Mocha so that they can continue to expose. And we'll also continue to raise funds for the men directly, and then some funds for the whole effort for the political prisoners across Canada. So again, we have over 50 of them right now. So we've got a few efforts here, Granny, and I think that the right team is coming together on this one.
yeah. And we're really going to have to step up our game for fundraising. Like, there was a huge waste of time, and I know people come after us saying, get rid of the lawyers. Like, seriously, people, I know your hearts are in the right spot, but excuse me, the men are in the inside. We have to work with the system right now. It's all we have. And I know people are going to bombard my messenger again, but that's what I believe. I don't know. Jason's got a legal background, so he understands it better than me. But the fundraising, like, we've got a huge one coming up in 6 weeks. It's $100 registration, and it's just go to the Operation or Alberta Political Prisoners page and you can find it. It's pinned on my own personal pages, Margaret Granny Mackay and Granny Margaret Mackay. And just try and support in any way you can. And I've said this before, it's not about the size of the donation right now. It's about the numbers of the people across Canada. Because if we get tens of thousands of people stepping up and they only donate $5, $10 each, that adds up to a lot of money, and it can really help these guys right now. They're trying to break them financially. They're trying to break them spirit by spirit. But financially, if we can stay ahead of it, where they don't cripple them financially with the lawyers, we can keep going. But we need help. These people are selling off their stuff, trying to stay afloat, and they're hitting bottom.
Yeah, and it's a great message. Let's get them together, 10, 5, $20. That's great too. I'm actually going to also reach out to the big donors. So Conrad Black, I'm actually thinking about you. You went through a similar thing with the media problem, and you guys had to do time. So Conrad, reach out. I think you can make big change on this one and help here. You were a political prisoner yourself. Reach out. Jordan Peterson, you better speak up. I'm actually going to call you out directly now. I've been trying to contact you for over a year and vigorously for the last month and a half. Jordan Peterson, you need to speak up. This is your province. This is where you're from, and you are not talking. That's incredible, Mr. Peterson. Dr. Peterson, apologies. You better start speaking up. And I'm going to continue doing this, Grandma. I have my own call-out list now of people who definitely should, in a normal circumstances, be standing up anyways, but they're not. So we're going to have to shame some of these people to stand up, because having them not stand up is also kind of validating the Crown's position or the government's position. If you don't stand up for these men, you may as well be standing with the government, because that's where we're at with this one. I'm sorry again. I am frustrated.
Well, there's people out there that are, I guess what you would call is freedom, the freedom movement. And these people have had tens of thousands of people stand up for them. But they're not here standing up for these men. One man came the other day, and he shouldn't have, but he came because he knew it was the right thing to do. I'm not going to say his name because he's well known.
Yeah.
And he came, and he was told not to. But everybody attacks him, and I'm thinking, he's the one person that comes forward. Where was everybody else? I've stood up for all of these people. I've marched in front of remands for others. I've slept in parking lots in my Jeep for others. Where are you? And why aren't you helping these guys? They could be your brothers. They are your brothers, but you're not here. And I've been here every day, and I'm not seeing you.
And not to the public, little things that you can do that will help tremendously is everywhere you can, put the Coutts Four hashtag, everywhere you can, talk about them. If the subject is about economics, talk about the economics of political prisoners. If the subject is about fashion, talk about the inability for political prisoners to have fashion. Every single conversation that you can get yourself into, make sure people understand that we have political prisoners in this country right now. Get in there. Even if it's about recipes, talk about how tuna poke bowls are Chris Lysick's favorite thing, and then give the recipe for that. We need to remind everybody everywhere that these people exist, because as soon as people understand that they exist, it's hard to turn your back on them. So as soon as we get someone's eyes on the issue, we'll get more support out of them, because they're all humans. We got a lot of humans out there.
And that's where the bumper stickers come into play. Nikki can talk about this. She's seen them. Tell your story about the bumper stickers, Nikki.
Well, I'll tell you the most recent one yesterday. So my sister was up in Oyen, and a lady had come up to my sister and said, thank you for the awareness. And my sister says, do you know one of them? And the lady says, nope, but I follow Granny. And now she follows Jason. And so my sister ran over to her and says, would you put a bumper sticker on your vehicle? And she says, most proudly. And we've been going in Edmonton, Calgary, Lethbridge, you're starting to see bumper stickers everywhere. So it's phenomenal to see that people are asking questions. And one of my friends, she goes to the drive-thru and people are taking pictures of her bumper stickers now and asking. So it's pretty phenomenal how this has all went. So thank you both, because for the longest time it was very hard to get a message out. So when Granny come on board, it was just like our guardian angel had come about to help us. And then now Jason with you, it's just having your show here. It's just, we can't thank you enough for all you do. We surely appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. We're going to keep doing it. We'll grow it. I don't need much sleep. I'm going to keep going. You guys are going to, if I have a big bushy beard, you know why. I'm going to keep going. Granny, and thank you so much for letting me be part of this.
Well, like I said, I'm thankful that Crystal linked us up, and thank you for asking the question, and somebody put you on to, and now we're together. So people, I always talk about, we went old school with the media because we weren't getting any media. So the bumper stickers are working. I still pushing them out there. I don't even know how many. I think it's over 1,500 we have out there from East Coast to West Coast. Please order 10 to 20 bumper stickers and sell them in your area. Give them away, but keep the bumper stickers going. Somebody did mention I should change the trial date because I've got on their trial June 2023.
Right.
I didn't change it for a reason. Take a black permanent marker and put a line through it. Make people ask why you put a line through it. And that's when you explain, because they've changed the date to June 2024. So please keep ordering. Go to grannymackay.ca and order 10 or 20 and help us with the cause. It is working. And I've had people ask me in the drive-through. They see it while I'm getting my tea or coffee, depending what time of day. And they're asking. So they are working.
Yeah, we're going to get you set up, Granny, so you have a mic and stuff as we do all this. And we'll keep this going for sure. Nikki, you want to say goodbye? And then we're going to actually have Granny close the show because she's in the master seat right now. So what we'll do is we'll have you say goodbye, I'll say goodbye, and then Granny will close the show, and I'll push the buttons for you, Granny, so you don't have to do anything.
Well, everyone have a great day, and we'll keep up the good fight. And if everybody can get on the phones and keep phoning and spread the message for these guys, it's really important that they're not forgot. They're spoken about in every conversation right now. This shouldn't be happening in our own country, and we should not allow it. So everyone keep spreading the word, and thank you very much.
Absolutely. And it shouldn't happen in other countries either. And the ironic part is Canada gets involved when this happens in other countries, just not in their own country. Canada, we can do this. We are frustrated, but we're meek. Meek means we're very strong, but we have a way with words and we can communicate and work with people. So we're bringing back meek. Let's make meek great again. And this is exactly how we're going to respond to this. digital convoy, digital support. We're going to get some information out there, and we'll get some lawyers involved. We'll file a couple documents as citizens and see if we can assist on that front. Certainly want to talk to the defense before we do anything like that, because we don't want to interfere with their efforts, because they are, in my heart, a good team. So we're going to continue to work with them. All right, so Granny, so the way it works is you just tell everybody what you want to think about at the end of the day, summarize, and give them their God bless, and you get to end the show for us. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, I have spoke about this in the past. I've always said I do believe the power is in the people. I believe the power of the people is coming in a package of called Jason and Paula. And now they're going to help us file this. We're going to figure it out. Now share, 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 and keep sharing. And let's get the word out there. And we're going to come together as the power of the people. But the power of the people comes in the share button. Yes, we need help financially, but we need to get the word out there. Get it out everywhere, and do not think because that you don't have the power. Because Auntie Katie, or Auntie Kate, she's on my page. Go find her. She did a video. And thank her, because that one person got her nephew, introduced him to me, and Newsweek story blasted out there everywhere. And I thank Crystal for putting Jason in my life. And now look what's happening. We've got Viva. We've got so many people out there helping. Good people are coming on board. And I know there's more to come on board. So God bless you all and have a great day. And may we see something great in the courts.